And I've encouraged you guys to download the worksheet we have on Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page. After you read all those questions, or as you're reading the questions, would tell me more about the house. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms? Always confirm that, because it doesn't mean just because you saw it on the listing or you checked it out on Zillow or Redfin or however you look up properties that the information's correct. The owner could have taken a 2-bedroom and turned it into a 3, or taken a 4-bedroom and turned it into a 3. You always want to ask them to confirm that information. And then once they confirm the information, then you want to keep asking them more about the price point they want. But again, you have to speak to them in their own language. Another thing with people that are emotional, that say, oh, I'm a little bit confused, you definitely want to practice feel, felt, found. I understand how you feel, Mary, but the last time I worked with somebody who felt the way you do, his name was Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Johnson found that after he continued moving forward with us and closed the property, and he was able to relocate to Texas like he wanted to, then everything made more sense to him. And he still calls me to this day and thanks me. So you also want to find somebody that's in the same situation with them, and then you read it back to them. Now, if you're new in the business and you don't have any testimonies to share like that, or if you're new in a real estate office, then you can use your broker's information and say, you know, and you wouldn't be lying because you're part of that brokerage. However, if you're an investor and you're not in a community, then it's going to be a little bit hard for you to say, we found, or I have found, because you really don't have a community that you're connected to. And then when you're connected to them, you can use their statistics as your own. And so again, these are the things you want to think about. When you get into real estate, again, don't just focus on everybody's making a lot of money. So I think what Wendy's teaching right now is not going to help me make a lot of money, but it actually is. This is, people say to me, I don't understand how you got that person to sign. I don't understand how you got that person to just feel so comfortable working with you. Because my goal is, when I'm speaking to them, is that they see themselves in me. So people receive information a lot better when they feel that they're hearing it from themselves. So that's very, very important to understand. As I was saying before, you want to deal with people and speak to them in their own language. Another thing that's going to help you when you're dealing with objections is, when you deal with objections, you want to analyze and get good information. Whenever somebody I've marketed to, or I find something on Craigslist or online, I first go do the research on the property and see if what's showing up makes sense to me. Then I contact the person that is, selling the property, and I've analyzed it to see what's going on in their community, what's going on in their price point. Now, the other thing I want to share with the people watching this is, you're going to hear a lot of information about the market is going to change. Some people say it's a seller's market. Some people say it's a buyer's market. But it depends on the price point you're focusing on. Some people say every time the Dow Jones goes down, everybody gets panicky. But most people in $300,000, $350,000 price point or less are not affected by what's going on in the stock market as much as somebody who is in the 400 and up, because those are the people that are investing in stock. Most people buying under 350,000, those people are buying houses, and usually FHA, some sort of government, or some sort of sellers giving them money back. So that market is not really shifting. As a matter of fact, the interest rate is so low right now that everybody should be buying something, including the investors that have been investing and you haven't purchased a property yet. You may want to consider that. Now, if you're dealing with $1 million and above, those properties are moving a little slower. But the average homes, as soon as you list them, people are saying stuff like, I got more than I was asking, or I put my house on the market and it sold right away, especially with the global way of being able to promote right now. I was talking to one of my students in South Africa, and they were sharing with me with what the market was doing. The great thing about that is I was able to speak to my cousin who had come here to America and managed my office for about 5 years. And so he confirmed to me what one of my students in South Africa told me is going on with the market there. And people even there are doing real estate investing and wholesaling. So this works anywhere in the world if you do it correctly. And so I wouldn't encourage you to just get stuck on things aren't moving, let me rush quickly, because people from other parts of the country are buying in America. You just have to make sure you keep perfecting your skill sets. The better you get at what you're doing, the more deals you will have to close. If you're not closing deals, you're not listening to your business, or you're working one deal, or you're doing things your way, or you're pulling a recipe from so many different places. And that's not a good recipe to work from. It's not going to give you what you're looking for. So again, when you're dealing with handling objections from your sellers, the first thing you want to do is clarify what their objection is. Don't assume you know it. If somebody says, well, I don't like blue, don't assume you understood what shade of blue they're talking about. They may mean, I hate dark blue, and you're handling light blue. So ask them to clarify, then analyze, and then influence them in the direction that they should be going. And you do that by educating them. That's how you neutralize their anxiety. Okay, so handling objections is going to help you to do a lot more deals. And on our Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page, if you can go to that page, and if you have objections you've been dealing with and you'd like me to help you answer them, I can give you so much dialogue, because that's one of the things that I mastered in the late 80s to the early 90s, because that is what was messing up my business. I knew what to do, what was the process of taking a listing. I knew the process of being a wholesaler. I knew the process of fixing and flipping. But when I sat in front of a client, because remember, we didn't have internet back then, so we literally had to go into an office, use the regular touch tone phones, pull out what's called a Colts directory, and the one that I used was a binder this big, and it had all the streets and phone numbers of Queens, New York, and I literally would pick a street and just start calling. Hi, my name is Wendy Lovejoy. Well, then I was Williams, Wendy Williams of ERA McGill. I'm calling to see if you or somebody you know is thinking of buying or selling a house now or in the near future, and then I'd be quiet. Sometimes I didn't get that far, they'd hang up on me, but when I got that far, I'd listen. And I got a lady that said, yes, I'm thinking of selling. And I asked her, well, if you were to sell, when would that be? She said, well, I need to sell right now because my husband is, I don't want to be in Hollis, Queens when it gets cold again. So I need to get rid of this house right now. And so I said, okay, if you were to sell now, where would you go? And then she told me she needed to move to somewhere warm like Florida, and she had family in Orlando. She had been considering that. Now, the important thing about that is I was able to refer her to somebody in Orlando, and they sent me a referral fee. Don't limit your business to where you are. Learn to refer business to other people. A little bit of something is better than nothing at all. So there's so many streams of money that you can get from one deal if you pay attention, if you look at it correctly. And so it's very, very important that you master the dialogue. I learned that dialogue in the late 80s. It's in my spirit. So when I speak to sellers, that dialogue comes out like a conversation. When you work your worksheets, if you read that worksheet, name, address, property address, best contact, email, best time to call, evenings or mornings, weekends or during the week, how much is the house worth? How long have you had the house? Is there a mortgage? What's the balance of the mortgage? Are there any other loans that you've taken out against the house? What repairs have you done? These are things that you've got to internalize so they come out naturally before you get emotional on a deal. And then I want to share this with you because, again, I always focus on mindset. When you're doing deals, don't get caught up on a deal. If you have 10 deals in the pipeline, not all 10 are going to close. All you're looking for is the next one deal that's going to close. And then you're going to learn from that one deal, what did you do correctly? Once you do that, the next time you're going to close 3 deals out of your 10. Now you're going to see what you did correctly and what you still need to fix. After that, you're going to close 5 out of the 10 because you're better at speaking and educating the sellers, because you're investing time and knowledge in getting yourself to the expert level. Don't feel like you're meant to make more money and not do anything different. On our prayer call, we're talking about an epic 2019. I say the same thing for your business. You can have an epic 2019 if you work on yourself and how you can be better at handling the objections that your sellers will bring you, and don't answer them just from your own understanding, because different people mean different things. Blue may mean sky blue to somebody, and it may mean royal blue to you. Always ask people to clarify, how did you come up with this price? What makes you feel you can get this price? How did you see your house, being at this price point? What did you hear that made you think that this house should be at this price point? I've asked the same questions in 3 different personality types, and you have to master doing that. And then don't ask in an offensive way. Ask in a conversation. Ask like you're just talking to the seller, and then they'll be able to answer you. And the more they answer you, the more they're educating you of what's really bothering them, so that you can help them to close. So you can help them by getting them to go into contract with you, and then you can put the house on the market or wholesale it or fix it and flip it or fix it and hold it. But you can't do that if you're not learning to master your scripts and dialogues. There's some people that I'm working with in the Yellow Letter Mentoring program that, some of the things that holds people back, we're finding when they join a group program, is sometimes they want to close a deal today and they just got started yesterday. There is a process. You first have to focus on your mindset and get your mindset to the right place. And you've got to get in the community, be vocal in the community, show up for the trainings, and then go and implement. It's not enough to just learn the process. Go and implement the process. Don't look for, I need to close the house real quick, so I'm going to go over here on this YouTube channel, and this YouTube person says this. Now I'm going to go on this Facebook page, they're saying that, and I'm going to put it together. Then on Instagram, I heard this guy, and he said this is what I should do. You're going to have a very confusing business. And it's like, again, when you do that, you're literally not getting your car to move. You're not getting your business to move. What you're really doing is you're pressing the brakes and you're doing the accelerator at the same time. You're pressing the brakes and you're pressing the accelerator at the same time, and you're just doing this all the time. But if you have a process that you stick to and you really stay with it, you're going to see incremental experience. My first year in real estate, I did 100 deals on my own, but I was working all day, and I would be at people's houses 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I worked for the whole, like every day, including Christmas. The following year, I asked my mentor, how do I make more money and do less time in the business? And he said, raise your price point, raise the amount of money you get paid, and then you can work less. And go back to a lot of those people ask for referrals, but master your scripts and dialogues. And so I did that. And he also said, put your picture on everything. And I started in one area, which was Jamaica, Queens, and my face shot out to different places. And before you knew it, I had 100 listings all over Queens, New York. And people just automatically, and I put, I'm the real estate lady. So everybody knew me as the real estate lady. I'd go to my kids' school and they'd say, oh, your mom's the real estate lady. I'd go to church and they'd say, oh, there goes Wendy, the real estate lady, you know. And you have to brand yourself, but then you have to educate yourself, and you have to get into a community that's going to support your growth. Don't look for a get-rich-quick scheme, because you can't get rich. The only person that's going to get rich quick is the person you're giving your money to that's not told you to take step by step. You can't lose weight overnight. If you are overweight, even if you did Slim Fast, even if you did the keto diet, even if you chose not to eat another meal for a week so you can lose weight, it's not going to be like, I thought I want to lose weight on Monday and on Tuesday I dropped 40 pounds. Those 40 pounds come off with time. And it comes off with time if you discipline yourself, and if you follow a process of drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, doing enough exercise. But you can do all of that and keep eating potato chips and all the candy you want and drinking all the liquor you want. You won't lose weight. The most important part of losing weight is changing what you eat and also changing how you exercise. In real estate, the most important thing to change is how you market for your deals, what you put on your schedule that's going to put you in front of sellers, and then when you're in front of sellers, mastering how you speak to them. When you're in front of other investors, mastering how you speak to them, because you want to qualify the ones you want to work with that are ready to do something now. You want to qualify and look at the ones that are ready to do something in the next 30 to 90 days. And then you want to look for the ones that are looking to do something in the next 6 months or so. And you put them in the right categories, and then you follow up with them accordingly. So if you master those 3 things and you choose a mentor and you follow the process the mentor gave you and you reach out to your mentor, don't give up. You know, when I was in ERA and my broker Chuck McGill, as I mentioned before, he had thousands of agents. He had 5 offices and he had a lot of agents. The office I was at had 50 agents, and that were just on the board. There were some that never made it to the board. You know, they never put a deal up. And then there was one gentleman that had a whole board to himself, because he listed and sold everything, and he followed a process. What I would notice with him is that when he listened, he came to the trainings, he did everything the broker told him, but when the deal fell apart, he didn't retreat. He would go back to the broker and say, well, the deal fell apart, what do I do next? But I noticed that other people in the office, when a deal fell apart, they stopped coming to the office. They stopped talking to the broker and asking for more. They tried to figure out ways to do the deal without paying the broker. And when you have a mindset like that, that's unethical. That's unethical. You know, you cannot take, this is why brokers are told to have you, let you hold their license, because every deal you do in their office really belongs to them. even if it's a deal you brought, it belongs to them. It's like if you worked in a hospital, and let's say, or you worked with a specific doctor, a patient that comes into that hospital, and let's say your doctor's name is Mr. Smith, Dr. Smith. Well, those patients belong to Dr. Smith. If you were on the train and asked somebody to come see you at the hospital because you found out that they saw your name badge and they see you work in the hospital with Dr. Smith. They don't know Dr. Smith, but when they get there, they see it's his office. You can't say to them, I'm going to give you medication, but let me do it on the side. I don't want the Dr. Smith to know. That's unethical. Or if you start a deal with another investor and then you go behind their back and try to get it all to yourself and make sure that they don't get any part of it. You don't want to do that. So always understand that when you have, hey Breland, when you have a broker, they're entitled to be your mentor. They're also responsible for you, and they're entitled to their fee or their portion of that transaction. If you're working with other investors, learn to work as a community. Don't figure out ways to get more money than everybody. That's not a good way to run your business. So the best way to make more money for yourself is, like I mentioned before, make a decision that real estate, whatever part of real estate, whether you want to be an agent alone, an investor alone, or you want to be an agent and an investor, make up your mind that is the what you're going to do. Okay? The why is why you want to do it. But the what is what. Are you going to be a wholesaler? Are you going to be a listing agent? Are you going to be a buyer's agent? Are you going to be, a fix and flipper? Are you going to be a buy and holder? Start with one of them, master it, and then add the other. Don't be all over the place. I was speaking to a gentleman the last week, and he shared with me that he pulls information here, there, and everywhere, and he felt bombarded. He felt very confused. I said, yeah, because you don't have a complete recipe. You're pulling from here, you're listening to this one, you're going there. And when I was young, I used to love to bake cakes. I would buy Duncan Hines, and I would follow the recipe on the box. I didn't mix Duncan Hines and Betty Crocker. I didn't mix this recipe with that one. Now, after I made the cake, and I said, oh, I'd like it to be a little sweeter next time, I'll add this. Or I like it to be a little fluffier next time, I'll add a little bit more oil. But don't change the recipe. Find a mentor, stick to their process, because the process is the how you're going to do what you want to do. So your why is, why did you get into real estate? Why did you choose the part of real estate that you have chosen? And then the what, the why is, why did you do it? The what is what you're gonna do. Real estate investing, wholesaling, become an agent. I have a young lady that referred two gentlemen to me that want me to train them so they can become real estate agents. And one is in Maryland and the other one is in Georgia. So they want to become real estate agents, but their why is two different things. They don't know each other. They have two different whys, but they have the same what. Now, how is the process you choose, the mentor you connect with, the process they teach? What kind of marketing are you going to do? What kind of time are you going to put into your real estate business? And then you want to keep improving your skill sets, because as a real estate anything, your job is to educate the people you're working with. I can't tell you how many wholesalers I've had to educate as we do deals together. Not even people that are in my mentoring program. But people that I, come to me for one of my deals, or I saw something they have, they're getting educated because they're doing things in a certain way, or they're doing things the way everybody was doing it 2 years ago. The market or how you do stuff keeps changing. It keeps changing. Like, the yellow letter is a perfect thing. You want to send out your letters, but you want to layer your efforts. You want to send out your letters. You want to do postcards. You want to send out your text messages, your email blasts. But you need to do it a specific way. So when you're going over here and this one says do a letter this way, and then you go over here, somebody else says no, it doesn't need to be a yellow letter, make it a blue one. And then somebody over there says no, purple paper. But none of them are teaching you the template that you need to put in there. Are you putting too much information? Are your postcards, is there too much information there? Or maybe you're using a text blasting system, but you're getting people calling you back or texting you back and they're really pissed off. It's not because they don't have to sell their property, but maybe your template that you're using to text them is off. Or maybe you're doing emails. Maybe your emails are off. This is why you need mentorship. Not having mentors is costing you. It's not saving you money. I promise you, it's costing you. It's not saving you money. So pick a mentor, then embrace their process until the end. If you were going to lose weight, and let's say you go to LA Fitness, and you start at LA Fitness and they say you should do a 6-month program, and you sign up for the 6-month program, but then you do it for like 2 weeks, and then you find out, a friend of yours shows up and they said, wow, hey Wendy, I heard you're trying to lose weight. I heard you joined LA Fitness, but I'm at Exercise Anytime You Want over here on Main Street, and I lost 500 pounds. And, I see you haven't lost any weight yet. Why don't you come over here? Then you still paid for your program here and you left it. Now you go over there and they told you, at LA Fitness, you need to do 50 sit-ups a day. You need to do 100 jumping jacks a day. You need to do 50 squats a day. And now you go over to this other place and they tell you, no, do lunges, go running. But none of them are addressing your eating habits. You're still not going to get anywhere. You need to be consistent. Stick it out. Don't leave. Don't quit. And quitting doesn't always mean you quit by saying, I'm not doing it anymore. You just don't get up and keep doing what you're meant to do. So that means your why is not driving you. Because when you have a strong why, the how and the what will not make you give up. They will not make you go find another way that sounds easier. There's no easy way to get your $1 million. There really isn't. The easiest way, the best detour you can give yourself, the greatest hack in getting you to that $1 million faster is to master the money-making activities in real estate. And again, handling objections, learning how to handle them, listening so you can have them clarify what it is that they're still having an objection about. And you analyze what they're saying, but you're not analyzing to criticize, you're analyzing to sympathize, and then you're going to educate so you can influence their decision with good and positive information. Last but not least, you're going to neutralize their action steps because you gave them the right information. And then you listened, you listened to what they were saying so that you can empathize with them, and then you can answer them back in their own language. So I'm going to end this again. When somebody says to you, I thought, I could get more money, listen carefully as to what they're saying. Thank you, Rolinda. Listen carefully as to not just what they're saying, but how they're saying it. I thought I could get more money. That means they're an emotional person. Use emotional back to them. I understand how you feel. What makes you feel you can get more money? If they said, oh, I see everything you're saying, but I really, I saw my neighbor, or I heard my neighbor got 100,000 or 10,000 more, and look at their body language. Kinesthetic people tend to talk a little slower. They don't always look you in the eye. They're more emotional. Auditory people lean when you're speaking to them. The visual person will look you in the eye. They're very aggressive in their handshake. So you got to answer each one differently, or you got to repeat to them their objection. Don't even answer them until you repeat it back to them so they can define it. When I was in multi-level marketing, and people would say to me, most of the time I get this objection of people saying, well, isn't that a pyramid scheme? And I would say, no, it's not a pyramid scheme. I'd say, no, you don't want to answer it that way. When they say to you it's a pyramid scheme, ask them, what exactly do you mean? Or what makes you feel that way? What have you heard about a pyramid scheme? And one gentleman actually said, well, I heard that's the best way to make money, because you got all these people at the bottom working for you, and you're at the top. And let's say you get 3 people on your team, then they get 3 people. Now you got, that many more people working for you. And then I heard some people say, well, I just feel like it's too much work I got to do. And then you respond, well, what exactly do you mean it's too much work? So it's the same thing with your real estate. If you don't understand it, you're going to work harder. You're going to work harder, and you're always going to start a deal and never close it. Or you're going to get that much closer to a closing. The deals you don't close are the ones you learn the most from. You really don't learn the most from the deals you do close. It's the ones you don't close that come to teach you what you need to fix in your business and what you need to fix in yourself so that your business is better. So I went over a lot about clarifying objections. I like to keep these trainings down to an hour. I hope you got something out of this. And if you feel there's something you need me to help you address in handling objections, go on over to the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page. Send me a message there. I'll be happy to address it. And or you can follow me on Instagram at Wendy Lovejoy Trainings. I usually put little pop-up videos that give you a tip for the week. Yesterday, the tip of the week was about the difference in working with me. And Hey Grace was the difference in working with me as a real estate mentor and coach, then what makes me different. And the week before that, I put some tips on, just some properties I had helped people purchase in the New York area. So with that being said, again, my name is Wendy Lovejoy. I thank you for joining me on tonight's training. If you are in the New York area, I encourage you to go to our meetup, sign up there. The meetup is called the Queens Long Island meetup, and we have a live meetup at our office in Valley Stream every other week. That information is there for you if you no problem. That information is there for you if you go over to the meetup and sign up there. And then if you're in the Atlanta area, anywhere in Atlanta, Georgia, we have the RIA, the Real Estate Investors Academy meetup, and I share information there, and you also get to be the first to see certain videos. I do a lot of video trainings, I've got trainings on just about anything and everything when it comes to real estate, because I didn't want to keep repeating myself on some of the trainings. So there's trainings on how to analyze a deal, how to find a deal, how to, mirror match your seller, how to, how to pique people, to get people interested in working with you, how to build your team, how to go networking. Anything you can think of that's going to take your real estate or any business to the next level, we have a video on it. So again, you can also go over to the yellowlettermentoring.com, which is the website, and check out some of the videos there and also some of the programs that we offer. And if nothing else, stay connected to the community, and I will be happy to keep sharing information with you. But the greatest give back to me is when you go and implement this stuff and you give us, share with us what worked for you and how we can be of better help to you. I am on this platform to help you grow your business so you can understand real estate. And anybody can tell you, go find a house for $40,000, fix it up with $20,000, sell it for $100,000, and you've made a profit of $40,000. But there's so much more to real estate than that. Those concepts are also in this Yellow Letter Mentoring workbook that people get when they join the Yellow Letter Mentoring group program. This workbook is very, very explicit. Even though the program is about marketing, we share a lot about how to analyze the deal, build your team, work your schedule. And of course, I'm here for you guys if you're looking to grow your business. I'm very, very happy to answer your questions. I get a lot of questions through the meetup as well. And, we're here to help each other grow. With that being said, make this a great week. Take something you heard tonight, go practice it, and go and keep working it. When is the next meetup? Oh, great, you're going to attend the next meetup. Way to go. And make sure, because in New York, if you do not text Anthony Williams, you will not be able to get in the building. We have an office that's in a private building, and you will not be able to get in unless you text in advance. Sometimes we even will meet people at Dunkin' Donuts which is across the street from the office, but I really encourage you to do that. And in the Atlanta area, we also have a monthly live training for first-time home buyers. And that meeting is also good for investors. I usually share stuff about investing, and then Shannon and we have teams of vendors that come out and they share how to help your people become first-time home buyers. And you get to meet a live real estate agent that is really strong at negotiating and can help you close some of your deals. Again, with that being said, my name is Wendy Lovejoy. I'm here to help you guys. And if you would, just stay connected, we'll be happy to help you grow your real estate investing business. Okay? Talk to you soon, everybody. Bye.
Some more, cause I'm moving it hard like this. Oh, nah, nah, nah. And I tell them again, they be calling my phone like this. They know that it's hot when I